It's fucking loud. Why do I look skinnier on this camera when I do this show? I think it's the lighting. Because the other shows, I look like this. This one, I got a jawline. The other one looks like I have a fat, pudgy face. I don't know. I like this one. All right, here we go.
I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, should we cancel Pretty Privilege? And also, a woman died while trying to see the eclipse, and a man returns a 22-year-old TV, wants full refund, and a baker loses her cool. All this and much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive. As for the next 60 minutes or so, we dive through all the social media news and feeds that you might have missed over the last 7 days. So how are you? How are things? How are things going? I think I nailed that one. That one I nailed. I was trying to figure out a way to make it come out nice and smooth. But that's what I come up with, and there we go. And I'm putting my my smelly, relaxing, stress-free aromatherapy on. I don't know, this is riveting stuff here. Speaking of riveting stuff, so did you see the eclipse? Did you see it? Wasn't it cool? I think the last time we saw it was back in 2017, I think, and we were standing out in the yard and stuff. And we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville, and population 2,500. Woohoo, good for me. And we had, up on a ladder, we had a big piece of plywood or a sheet of something, cardboard with a hole poked in it. And then we had a picture on the ground. You could see the thing moving on the ground. So, but this time, everyone was like, what they were going to say, this is the apocalypse? Is this the end? Everyone was freaking out about it. I never understood that. Oh, this is the end. Do you understand this happens every 4 or 5 years? This is nothing new, if not 4, 5, 7 years. And people were freaking out about it. And, it's going to be the rapture. Are we at that point, people? Are we really at that point where we're going to let, things like this influence our daily lives, decisions, that everything's coming to an end? So I told my wife, hey, today, 3 o'clock, not today, the day that it happened, we're going to have the eclipse today. Oh, but it's not going to be really, really dark here. No, it's not. Since we're in Charlotte, we might get, I think, what they say, 60% coverage and stuff. So it starts happening, like 2:30 it starts happening. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm outside doing stuff here on the property. And I go, babe, it's starting. And she has a home office here. And she's like, yeah, it's starting. I've seen it before. I know, but it's happening again. And then I go rush into my dad's room. As you guys know, my dad lives with me. And he's passed out, sleeping in his chair. I'm like, well, I don't want to wake him up. But, he's going to be 78 in a couple months here. Dad, the eclipse, it's happening right now. So then I run back to my wife. Are you going to come out? She's like, babe, no, I can't. I'm working. I'm like, okay. Am I the only one excited about it? Not that I'm excited, like, but it's just a unique thing. So here my dumbass is running around going, okay, I'm trying to remember my elementary school. All right, how do we look at a eclipse? We have to do the like a box. I'm looking for a box. I'm running around the house looking for a box. And I'm like, okay, so you poke a hole in the top and then you look through the side. So I did that. I'm like going, it's not working. What am I doing wrong? So I'm literally like Google searching as the moon's passing. I'm losing my time frame here. I'm Google searching. I did it wrong. So I'm trying to plug up the hole. I got to put a pinhole here and have the thing look over my shoulder. I said, I don't have time for that. So I'm scrambling around the house. My dumbass, first of all, they say never look at the goddamn eclipse. So I go, in my mind, of course, couple of these went down real nice and smooth. And I go, I wonder what happened if I just looked at it for a minute. Could I really see something? So I kind of, if you're watching this here on the YouTube video, I put my hands over my eyes, and you know how it, like if your mom and dad had told you, cover your eyes, you know, you're not allowed to see naked people on TV, but you would like put a little pinhole so you could see through, so you could actually see the TV. And so I'm looking at the freaking Eclipse like this, like I'm 5 years old, watching a nudie film with my mom and dad in the room. And I was like, oh man, that's bright. And I kind of rubbed my eyes a little bit. So now I'm running around. I don't have time to make a box. So I literally grabbed all my landscape protective goggles that I wear. And so I put one on, look up. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's bright. So then my dumbass stacks them all up. And now my landscape glasses are the polarized, those yellow blue blocker ones. And I've got like 5 or 6 of them. They got scratches and shit all over them. So I'm sitting on someone was to see me next door. I'll get into the next door kids here in a minute. So I stacked 3 pairs of sunglasses on top of each other, and I put them on my head, and I'm looking up at the eclipse, the solar eclipse thing. Ah, fuck, it's still fucking bright. Ah, damn it. So in the scramble, I'm in the garage, which is detached from the house. So I'm running in between the garage, through the deck landing there, up into the house to look for a box. I need to find a box. I got to make this stupid thing. Meanwhile, tick, 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 tick. There goes the moon across the sun. And I can hear the neighbors' kids down, because our properties and everything, they're close enough. In the country, voices carry, man. Jesus Christ. So I can hear them, it's so cool. The little Nazi kid told me not to blow leaves in his yard. Him and his brothers and sisters are out there, and they're all average age is probably, 16, 17 years old, and they're all out there. And I'm sure the mom's out there. And I run into the house, and they're like, oh, look at that. I can hear them, conversating over there. And I come out of the house, I find a box finally, and I'm poking the holes in it and doing all that stuff. And I yell across the property, my eyes, I'm blind. It burns. And the little kids, they can't see me because through the trees and stuff. And they go, no, it doesn't, Mr. Holmes. No, it doesn't. No, they're messing with me. And I go, maybe I am. We'll find out tomorrow. So I run outside. And I get the box, and I got the little pinhole, and I got the little cutout, and I have the Eclipse over my shoulder, and it's shining through the box, and I'm looking in the box, in the thing, and I see it. And no lie, I took a picture of it. It is about the size of 2 heads of a pin, 2 needle point head, about the size of a thumbtack, if that. Let's put it that way. About the size of a head of a thumbtack. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, that's cool. And it is getting darker out, and it is like an overcast day, or it looked like an overcast day. We had pretty good not cloud coverage here in the Charlotte area. So I knock on the door, the side door to my wife's office. I'm like, babe, come on out, look. And she looks in, she's like, that's it? That's all I get to see? I'm like, babe. But you saw it. She's like, yeah, it looks like a little dot. I go, yeah. I said, give me my goddamn box back. You go back inside. I'm going to watch it for a little bit. So I watched it for maybe like 10, 15 minutes just to see if I could see the physical shadow of the moon crossing about. And I saw it. Yes, it was about half the size of a thumbtack. And I go, all right, well, that's done. Where did I leave off? What was I doing before? I got so confused. And I'm like doing this because I looked at the sun a couple times and I'm blinking, and I've got the little... You ever looked into like a bright light bulb and you blink and you see that rainbow colored purple, black when you blink? I had that for a little bit and I was scared. But today I'm fine. Today, if you're watching me on the YouTube channel, today I'm fine. Everything's good. I can see just fine. I drooled a little bit there. All right, guys, we got a big show to get into. Lots to talk about. And this news station over in Mexico, boy, they're having a tough time over in Mexico, played an actual video of the eclipse that ended up being a prank. And I'll dive into that story. We have the video. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social contacts. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. That's PROPHET radio.com. And you can see the little thing that says social contacts. While you're over there, click that little button that says free swag. Fill out that little form. It's not an email grab. We just want to say, they'd like to say thank you for listening to all the fine programming that comes out of the Prophet Radio studio. And if you're watching this here on the YouTube channel, you can see all the different podcasts that are broadcast out of here. Fine programming that is here at Prophet Radio. So make sure you go over there, grab yourself a prize pack, and they'll send it out to you. Now, unfortunately, this woman had died watching the eclipse happen, and you're like going, well, what did she do? Did it burn her retinas? Was it the rapture, pulled her body up naked and everything? No. A renowned pediatrician died after falling out of her Airstream camper on the New York highway. Dr. Monica Warnicki, 58, fell out of her 2024 gray Airstream that was being lifted by a pickup truck that her husband was driving. The accident occurred Saturday afternoon on Route 12E in Jefferson County on the north part side of the state. Warnicki rode in the Airstream with other family members during the last 20 minutes of their trip. Witness said behind the Airstream said that they claimed they saw the passenger door was open on the Airstream. Monica Warnicki's arm was hanging out of the door after the wind caused the door to swing open and causing her to be thrown from the Airstream. The doctor's head hit the shoulder of the roadway, and she was pronounced later dead in the hospital. An investigation into the tragedy is ongoing. Warnicki worked as a doctor at the Stony Brook Medical Center in pediatric allergy immunology and as a subspecial. I don't know. She was a doctor. All right, let's put it that way. Where she had practiced since the early 2000s. She treated children with allergy, asthma, skin conditions, and even taught pediatrics at a clinical assistant professor, according to her page. So, can you imagine that? You're sitting there, you're like going, hey, come see the eclipse. And then, let's make a Mecca. Let's get in our RV and drive down the road, and we're going to find a nice little place, and we'll ride in the back of the thing, which is it is very illegal to do. But I guess they were 20 minutes outside of where they were going to be, so the family decided to ride in the back of the RV or the Sunbeam or the Airstream toaster camper that's on the back, and the door flung open, and as she was holding the door, I guess, I'm not sure they really get into details, pulled her out of the Airstream. And, if you're going down the road at any length of speed, even over 35 miles an hour, you go diving on that, you hit the concrete, you flip and roll over a couple times, bam, she was dead. Just to go see the damn eclipse. Now, if it wasn't for the eclipse, she'd be here today. So, there you have it. There you have it. I don't know what that means. You just never know when something, is going to take you right then and there. Now, something that this television station didn't know about. While they're reporting on the eclipse, they played a video. And I've got the video here that they played. So this week, our solar eclipse was an event body. It was an event that nobody wanted to miss. But viewers of one station got a little bit more than they bargained for when they turned on the big moment, as the viewers of the Mexicans RCG Media 24/7 news programming, they were left stunned by watching what they thought was a live feed of the moon covering the sun, only to see a man's testicles loomed over the view instead. Now, this video, it's an old video, but it's still funny as hell. And what happened is, the incident happened during a segment where the host was sharing clips of the eclipse sent by viewers who captured the amazing phenomenon. According to the local outlet, it's an actual pretty well-known prank in Latin America. The clip was quickly taken off the screen after the testicles appeared, and the male anchor apologized to the viewers to the viewers immediately that their desire that included a fan shot footage can lead to an embarrassing predicament for broadcasters when clips go wrong and accidentally slip through. So I'm going to play, if you want to watch this, don't forget for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. And you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the show. So here's the actual, let's switch, which one am I at here? We're doing this one? Let's do this one. So what it is, here's the, let me get to the right scene here. So here's the big swoosh, and it's a video, and it says 49 people are watching this live stream. So you see the sun. We'll play it. It's got a little bit of audio to it, so be careful.
The incident serves as a reminder of the...
So there's a video of the sun, and it's like dead on sun. And then all of a sudden, this gentleman's balls drape across in the foreground, causing a ball eclipse.
The risks associated with live television. Despite the meticulous planning and preparation that typically precedes such broadcasts, unforeseen mishaps can occur, often resulting in moments of hilarity. The meticulous planning and preparation that
so here he goes, one more time.
The risks associated with live television. Despite the meticulous planning and preparation that typically precedes such
I'm sorry. It's funny. If you can get balls on TV, especially your balls.
The live broadcast.
Oh, all right, shut up. Especially your balls on TV. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. This is an old joke, but there you go. And you can see that video over on the Deacon Live podcast over on YouTube as well. All right, guys, when we come back, they're not, again, back in Mexico, they're not playing around over there. It's getting scarier and scarier and scarier as far as the cartels taking over. And what they found in the middle of a highway, well, you'll be amazed of what happened. So stick around. I'll dive in that story when we come back. So you'll listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Well, we'd love to hear from you. And the way you can do that is go to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. And at the very bottom of the page is a little blue bar, a little blue tab. It says Be Heard, has a little microphone on it. Click on it, and if your device has a microphone built in, you can speak right into it, and it comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast, and you'll be podcast famous. You'll be right alongside of us here in the studios. You can mention anything about the last 10 years of podcasts that I have out there, but just remember, when you say something that was like 6 years ago, just kind of do a little refresher and stuff. Don't worry, you got plenty of time, and you can be anonymous if you want. Just send us a little voice message, comes to our inbox, boom, podcast famous. Now, something that's famously happening over in Mexico right now, authorities in one of Mexico's largest cities said on Friday they have found 7 bodies, with 5 of them being decapitated and the other completely dismembered, with a message on each of the corpse. This car was left in the middle of traffic on the main expressway. Prosecutors of the central state of Puebla said that all bodies bore messages supposedly outlining the reason why they were killed. Each was accused of having committed a particular crime, from street-level drug dealing to robbing freight trucks to extortion. Each one of the bodies was found with a handwritten message written on a piece of paper, each one detailing the reason why that person was killed. Chief Prosecutor Gilberto Higuera, I'm going to say that. Higuera did not mention whether the deaths may be related to drug cartels. He said that the stolen car was left in the middle of traffic on the expressway. While vigilantes have sometimes left messages on corpses as well, similar signs are far more frequent left on victims' bodies by drug cartels, seeking to threaten their rivals and to punish behavior that they claim violates their rules. Can you imagine that? You've got a code of ethics when it comes to, being a cartel guy? I guess you do. If you got no matter what level of crime you're doing, you still have to follow the laws, whether it's yours or someone else's. Higuera was extremely guarded to describing the evidence, but suggested that it involved not only a dispute between gangs, but also something related to dominance over certain people, aimed not only at domination, but also recruitment. He did not further clarify that, but some of the cartels in Mexico will, when seeking to establish territories as their own, will kill off rivals and petty thieves or drug dealers as they find, leave a message to convinced the local residents that such activities will not be tolerated under their rule. The grisly killings were striking because they occurred in a relatively affluent and large city of Puebla, just east of Mexico City. Puebla is Mexico's 5th largest city and had largely been spared the drug cartel's violence affecting the surrounding areas. According to the data published by the Puebla State Prosecutor's Office, the state as a whole has recorded 200 murders in the first 3 months of 2024. So, man, I mean, and then, you say about people trying to get out of, illegals and stuff. Well, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. If you let them come over, they're trying to escape and get away from the cartels and stuff. But some of them are the cartels coming over here to traffic, fentanyl and all the other stuff. I saw a news report the other day. I was watching the news while eating my breakfast. They said that the Border Patrol has gathered up just in 2024 alone over 8 million pounds of fentanyl. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of fentanyl. Was it 8 million pounds or 8,000 pounds? Either way, it's getting over here, and it's coming through those borders, those unprotected borders. And not to get on, my high horse here, but, we don't have that kind of problem in Canada. I say we don't have it. It's not as affluent in Canada with that border up there than it is down in Mexico. Well, look at what you're talking about. Mexico, for the most part, you think of like corrupt and government and, drug dealing and stuff like that. As to Canada, hey, everybody's polite, eh? Hey, do you mind if we bring some stuff into your country, eh? How about that? I don't know. I'm making shit up there. But there you go. I mean, something has to happen. And I don't know what the answer is to that. But an answer right now that's coming out of here in the United States, the WIC program. Are you familiar with that? It is the Women and Infant and Children program. It's a supplemental nutrition program set forward for women, infants, and children. It's called the WIC program. Nearly 7 million low-income women and children will be able to purchase some. God damn it. Nearly 7 million low-income women and children will be able to purchase more fruits and vegetables, but less dairy after the U.S. Department of Agriculture finally released changes to key federal nutritious programs this past Tuesday. The updates to the Special Supplement Nutrition Program for Women, Infant, and Children, also known as WIC, the first since 2014, were made better aligned with the program's food packages with the best dietary science, the USDA said. These participant-centered changes will strengthen the WIC program by ensuring foods and participants reflect the latest nutritional science, supported healthy eating, and the brightest futures. The WIC participants receive benefits to purchase certain food items depending on the age and their dietary needs. The USDA proposed to change the program on November 2022 and received over 17,000 comments, it said, based on this new change. The final provision allows for fruits, vegetables, and seafood and decreases the amount of juice, dairy, and cheese. It also added more non-dairy options like plant-based and lactose-free options as well. The National WIC Association applauds the USDA for adhering to the independent science-based reviews process that led to these stronger standards. We urge swift implementation. We urge a swift I can't say. They're going to do it. Okay. Implementation. God, I cannot read. Their lead to stronger standards. All right. The changes were criticized by the dairy promotion groups. The National Milk Producers Federation is distributed by the decision to reduce access to the essential nutrition dairy adds to the diet. The USDA spokesperson said that the agency expects dairy purchases through the WIC program to rise by as much as $400 million by 2025 due to the project's increase of participation, and that the WIC participants were typically not redeeming the full volume of milk provided under the early allowances. So what they're saying is they're now allowing, they're saying, you know, we don't need all this processed food, i.e. cheese, i.e. milk is processed, and we're going to allow for more vegetables, allow for more of natural stuff to come through, which is great because, I mean, God knows, you see it first of the month, you see those people in the grocery stores with their cart loaded up with frozen everything. And you're like going, well, you know, it says it qualifies for WIC because those people can get the free food. Plus, then they go out and buy cigarettes and alcohol and stuff like that. And don't say, no, you don't know. No, I do know. I've seen it. Okay. So sit back down, get your box and look up at the sky. Right. But I'm glad they're allowing for more vegetables and stuff. Now, whether the parents do it or not, they might not have a choice. They might have to go, okay, we can't buy, you know, as much milk and much juice and as much frozen stuff as we could because now we have to buy more vegetables and stuff. What are you going to do with the vegetables? It's kind of like, I don't know. We don't know how to cook. Here, eat a carrot, kid. I want my snacks. Oop, I pulled the wrong article. Well, what kind of snacks do you want there, little Timmy? I want my Lunchables. Whoa. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore because studies right now have shown that they have, I'm trying to find it. Here it is. Studies have shown right now that they have tested 12 different store-bought versions of Lunchables and similar snack kits and found relatively high levels of lead, cadmium, and sodium. Customer reports is calling for the U.S. government agricultural to remove Lunchables or similar lunch kits from the National School Lunch Program. The organization made an announcement on April 9th after a test of 12 store-bought versions of the Lunchables and similar lunch snack kits found relatively high levels of lead, cadmium, and sodium. The sodium levels in a kit reported ranges between 460 to 740 milligrams per serving, nearly a quarter of what a daily child needs for the recommended limit. In addition, all but one of the kits contain harmful pathogens, a group of chemicals found in plastics that the National Institute of Health states it's determined it's detrimental to the human health, can lead to reproductive problems, diabetes, obesity, and certain types of cancer and more. Kraft Heinz, maker of the Lunchables, did not immediately respond to the People magazine's request for the comment. Along the Lunchables, CR tests also included kits from Armour Lunch Makers, Good and Gatherer, Greenfield Natural Meat Company, and Oscar Mayer. CR has since launched a petition to the USDA, already garnering over 10,000 signatures in favor of removing the popular lunch kits from the National School Lunch Program. Even small amounts of lead and cadmium can cause developmental problem in children. Adults, no, you're fine. Go ahead, keep eating them. If you're not damaged by now, you won't be in the future. With risk of increasing from regular exposure over time, and eating too much sodium can lead to high blood pressure. We all have that. 80% of America does. And about 14% of the children have a pre-hypertension or hypertension. Please remove these items of processed food kits from the lunch program and offered our children more healthier choices. So there you go. They're adding more vegetables and stuff to the WIC program, and they're trying to ban or get rid of the Lunchables and out of the school lunch system. I mean, it's right on the label. It says Lunchables. Now, when they came out, Jesus Christ, I always looked at them like a ripoff. My dad eats them all the time. And I look at them, I'm like going, Dad, just buy a roll of crackers. You can buy even pre-sliced square pieces of cheese, like charcuterie cheese. And it's still cheaper than buying the Lunchables. And he's like, well, I know I can only have this much. Yeah, but look at the sodium. Look at all that other stuff inside of it. And then you can buy ham of some sorts, like little pepperonis or whatever. Oh, I can't eat the pepperonis. All right, Dad, then I don't know what to tell you. Just eat your cadmium and enjoy yourself. Oh, Jesus. When we come back, this preacher was trying to put a big old article in his local newspaper, costed $18,000. And at the last second, they backed out. I'll tell you what that article was. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe over there as well. Believe me, I'm not doing it for the money over there. It's just another avenue for another media source for you to watch the show and enjoy the show as well. We got the full-length podcast videos, and it shows any articles or anything that are or videos that I showed during the podcast. You can see those in real time as we're talking about them here on the air. Also, we have a whole bunch of little tiny bite-sized lunchable pieces over on the short section over on YouTube. I've got a TikTok channel, but the TikTok channel is divided up between all the different other podcasts that I do, so sometimes Deacon Live gets lost in there. But if you just want the true experience of Deacon Live, go over to YouTube, search Deacon Live Podcast, and you can see all the different little shorts over there. And make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date as well and follow along. Now, this gentleman right here, we had Easter come around the corner there, and over in Seattle, a pastor is pursuing legal action after the leading newspaper abruptly canceled. I cannot say words today. Today is a hard day for words for me. Canceled their contract agreement with the pastor to advertise his church Easter service. All right. So why? Why did he, hey, come see our service, at 5th and Main, the church on 5th and Main? No, we can't have that on our paper. So let's dive a little deeper and find out what's going on. Pastor Russell Johnson of the Pursuit Northwest Church told Seattle-based conservative talk show host Jason Rantz that he reached out to the Seattle Times on February 9th in order to pursue promoting an ad placement advertising his church for Passion Week, leading up to the death of Christ. How do I know? Oh, I don't know. The email shared with Rantz, Pastor Johnson reportedly asked a newspaper if he could pay for the largest and the most prominent ad space the paper had to offer. He made it clear that the ad would feature religious graphics such as a cross, a crown of thorns, and an empty tomb, as well as an invitation to attend the church's Easter service. 3 days later, he rose from the dead. No, 3 days later, the marketing specialist for the Seattle Times replied and offered a placement cost of $18,500 along guidelines for religious messaging on their paper. The ad original message mentioned hell and revival was changed after it was rejected by the paper, but the modified version of the ad was finally accepted and paid for on March 19th. $18,000, over $18,000 for a full-length page in the Seattle Times paper. But however, Johnson said the contract was canceled the following day, just 2 days short before the ad was published. Maybe it was a couple weeks long. I say for 1 day. If he's doing it on March 19th, when's Easter? I don't know. I can't do math. Maybe a month's time. So maybe it was running a whole month. So that's not too bad, I guess, if you want to divide it up that way. He claimed that the marketing team told him that owner Frank Beltham personally stepped in today and canceled your ad, he was told. He was also told that the prominent religious ad would hurt the company's reputation. All right. They said, it didn't really fit with our ethics of the paper. However, marketing team told me in all of the years of doing this advertisement in the Seattle for the Seattle Times that he had never once, the owner, stepped in and personally at the last minute canceled a contract. The pastor said, look, I'm a free market guy, and the Seattle Times is a privately owned entity. I understand that. And I support business owners who are able to make good decisions about how their businesses are run. But in reality, it is, the pastor continues, that their decision to cancel our multi-$1,000 signed contract at the last minute borderlines very close with viewpoint discrimination. He explains in the interview, the church's payment was refunded. Okay, so there you go. No harm, no foul. Johnson was offered free digital ads which are annoying in themselves, and a discounted rate for less prominent placement in the paper, which he politely declined. Johnson said he's considering legal action to the Seattle Times over the time and money spent crafting the ad, which he had already been pre-approved for by the paper. The pastor says, I think that at the bare minimum, the Seattle Times owes us for the amount of time, energy, effort that we put into creating that ad that had already been approved by a virtual signed contract. So for us, I think all things being fair, the Time does owe us that. Whether or not they would ever be willing to admit that they pay up is probably a long shot as well. So here's the thing. He says that, the pastor says he was not surprised that the paper abruptly canceled and citing, hostility towards religion and religious groups. According to recent surveys, Seattle is the least religious metropolitan area in the whole entire United States. Seattle ranks the least religious in America's 15 largest metros, narrowly beating San Francisco at 63% of people who rarely attend church or religious services. So you got to read the room, man. I mean, if you're trying to put this big old, religious thing, you got Jesus on the cross and crown of thorns and all this stuff, and say, hey, come to our service Easter Sunday. There'll be Punchin pie, and if the newspaper who distributes throughout the whole entire, Seattle area, I'm assuming, and probably, people across seas and stuff will read it and stuff. And you've got this big article in there. You're going to go, well, hell, why would I? It would be no different as if a black entrepreneur was to run an ad for the only thing I can think. I'm going to get one for this. A barbershop in a primarily white neighborhood. Because, let's all be fair. Different races of people have different ways of cutting their hair. So, if, Tom Jones, Jesse Jackson opens up a barbershop and, I don't know where I'm going with this. If he opens up a barbershop and wants to advertise to all the white clientele, I don't know. It's not going there because then you start stereotyping stuff. Anyways, but still, you wouldn't have buy a billboard. Screw the paper, buy a billboard. Buy a Super Bowl ad. Let's do it that way. Buy a Super Bowl ad. So don't be mad. Now, granted, was that was that uncouth? Not uncouth. Was that uncool that the owner of the paper said, no, ban that one. Strike it. Whether you see in the movie, strike that one. Stop the presses. Strike that one. We're not putting that one in there. Why not? Well, because that's not our newspaper. It's not religious. It's not anything like that. Now, as far as like political ads, that you have to be, if you own a newspaper, you have to do both sides, no matter what media source, whether it's a radio, whether it's television, whether it's printed media, you have to allow equal 50-50 for both sides. Religion? No, you do not need to. You do not need to show any of that stuff, no matter how much money you throw on the table. Now, if the pastor would like to spend $18,500 and advertise on our show, praise the Lord, Jesus Christ. Hail, all that other stuff. I would love to take you. So if you're listening to me, Pastor Johnson up there in Seattle, and I know I got a bunch of listeners up there in Seattle. I see the numbers up there. Pass it along. I'd love to have him on the air, and I'd love to advertise his next Sunday service where they have Punchin pie. Now, I've never heard this term before. You've heard of white privilege. You've heard of male privilege, male dominance. You've heard all these different, keywords, these tag words and stuff that just make you kind of knee jerk. Oh my God, I don't like that. I don't like that. But there's one called pretty privilege. And it's a term that everyone's using on TikTok to describe themselves as, look, I'm normal. I'm everything else, but I'm being looked over because I'm not, quote unquote, pretty. Now, this woman right here, Melissa Weaver, a New Yorker who's 30 years old, went for an interview for a job of her dreams, one that she knew that she would qualify for, and one that she told the recruiter best fitted her skill set perfectly. However, Melissa was rejected for the... Hold on there, Melissa. I know you want to be excited and everything. Melissa was rejected for the vice presidency role because she didn't look, quote unquote, pretty enough. In the video, Melissa explains, and we're going to show this video here in just 1 sec, so jump on over to YouTube and we'll play this for you. Melissa explains after thinking that the interview was a huge success, she was told that she didn't get the job because she hadn't put enough effort into her appearance. All right. She said, I did my hair blown out. I had a nice top on, a blazer, some earrings. I had a little bit of chapstick on. However, I don't wear any makeup because unfortunately, I don't need a whole lot of makeup. She's not that type of woman that needs makeup, which begs the question. And she asked her followers, does wearing makeup really help make it seem like the woman, like women aren't putting as much effort into their job or would care into getting the job? So let's watch this video as far as what she says. So I'm going to switch to camera 4. Camera 4, here we go. And we're going to watch, what's her name? Melissa Weaver? Dreamweaver. Yep. Melissa Weaver explained what actually happened in her job interview here.
Okay, Swifties, listen up. I've seen so many people saying that 1989 is going to be the next re-release.
No, stop. Here we go.
Interview went so well. Every question she had, I had a great answer for. I used to work in recruitment. I know how to interview. My background and experience align perfectly with what the role entails. So I thought it went great. I need your opinion on something. So I interviewed for a job earlier.
All right, here we go.
TikTok, I need your opinion on something. So I interviewed for a job earlier this week. The interview went so well. Every question she had, I had a great answer for. I used to work in recruitment. I know how to interview. My background and experience align perfectly.
What's that noise? She's got like a weed eater running outside.
With what the role entails. So I thought it went great, but then I get an email from the recruiter saying that I'm not going to be moving on to the next round. I was really bummed because I wanted the job, but I was also very confused. So I did something I never do, and I emailed her back and asked for feedback. And she said that while my background was exactly what they were looking for, my experience lined up with what they need for the position, and my own personal goals and values align with the company's, she was concerned that for my interview, I hadn't put in enough effort in my appearance given the level of role I was interviewing for. I was interviewing for a vice president position, and now my appearance. I had done a blowout for my hair. I had on a nice top, a blazer, some earrings, but I only had on chapstick. I didn't have any makeup because I don't really wear a lot of makeup, not to be quirky. I just don't. So my question is, does not wearing makeup for women to job interviews or to jobs make it seem like they aren't putting as much effort or care into their job?
Okay, audience, what do you think? How do you feel? Do you think not wearing makeup at a job interview, because whether you need it or not, is not putting enough effort into the job? Or is it it's one of those things where we accept women to look a certain way for the job? I don't know. We'd love to hear from you. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. At the bottom of the page says Be Heard. Opens up a little microphone on your device or whatever instrument you got listening to us at. You can be anonymous, speak right into it, and you can be podcast famous and right alongside of us here in the studio. Now, I know my wife and tons of you women out there, men and women out there, know that when you're working from home and if you don't have to be on camera or anything, you're not putting on makeup. You're not doing your hair. Now, you might do something respectable so you don't scare the rest of the family in the house. But I know my wife, if she's got to go on a Zoom call or something like that, she will do her hair. She will do her hair. She'll put her, her glasses on so she can look at the eclipse. And she will put a little bit of makeup on. She will do that. So it's a good representation that, hey, look, makeup is not just to make yourself look pretty. It's kind of to make yourself look alive. Believe it or not, if you're watching me here on the YouTube channel, I wear makeup. I wear makeup here in the studio because I don't want people looking at this disgusting mole or some kind of pimple or something that I've got. I know that's a little bit a far reach, but here, right here in my hand, I'm showing you right here. I wear makeup here in the studio because a lot of times the light and everything reflects and it makes you look presentable. There's a reason why if you watch like Schindler's List, the movie, I know I'm dating myself on this one, the women used to prick their fingers and for blood and put blood on their cheeks so they looked healthier, so they would be chosen for jobs so they didn't get killed. You know, that type deal. I know it's a far stretch, but still, it follows the same path as far as appearance is everything. You want to put your best self forward. Now, did this woman, does she have a complaint? Yes, she does have a rational complaint. If she qualified for everything and then visually she was not given the job and they said visually you are not part of the job, I think she's got a problem there. I think she's got an issue that she needs to deal with whoever's doing the hiring. Now, as far as her going out and going shopping or anything like that, and if someone says, oh my God, you need to put makeup on, or someone else's opinion like, no, you look fine, that's on them. That's a social thing. Business-wise, you need to make yourself somewhat presentable. What the answer is, I don't know, but we'd love to hear from you. All right, guys, when we come back, one more little segment, and we'll let you get back to doing what you got to do. And I'm not riding rides anymore. I'm at an age where I'm not riding those fair rides because they're falling apart left and right. Have you seen the guys that put those things together? Well, we got a video of this one that was falling apart, and they still didn't shut it down. I got the video to show it, so make sure you stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. At the top of the page says social contacts. You can see all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. We're available over on YouTube. We're available on Instagram. Instagram's a little bit more personal page for the Deacon Live show, so if you want to see all the little funny things that I do over there, I'll post some pictures over there. So make sure you like and subscribe over there. You can find us on Facebook as well. TikTok, we do some TikTok videos. I've been doing a lot of stuff around here on the property, so check those out as well. I bought my wife one of those automatic stirrers. She was making macaroni and cheese, and you got to keep the milk going as you put the cheese in it. And so I took a picture of that, and people are like going, where can I find one of those? So you can find all that over on the Deacon Live TikTok. Just like and subscribe over there and share us with all your friends or your enemies if you hate them. Now, Costco, I live just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville. There is no Costco or anything around us for about 45 miles. And you say 45 miles isn't much. Let me give you an idea of what 45 miles is. If you live in Orlando, Florida, you can literally drive to the beach in 45 miles. So we are that far away from any kind of like big establishment as far as Costco and stuff. Now I'm going to switch over to camera 4. So don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have matching video. You can see all this stuff in real time as we're talking about it here on the show. Let me switch to this camera so you can see it. The whole here we go. Costco shoppers were shocked when they saw a customer trying to return a TV after they purchased it already. Now, it's not just a regular TV. This TV was 22 years old. One of those, I forget what they call them, the rear projection DLPs or something like that, digital light projection, the rear projection TVs before the flat screens came out. The Wholesale Club is famously generous, has a famously generous satisfaction guarantee, but shoppers have been accused of taking it a little too far. You can see the TV right here on the flat card. Look at that. I'm going to bring this back. It's not as good as it was back when it was once good. I think I got a song there somewhere. A Costco member on Reddit reported seeing another customer attempting to return a TV from 2002 at their local store. They shared the photo, and this now retro set was sitting on a shopping cart in the queue around, in the kiosk for returns. I thought it was a prank, someone said on Reddit. The Costco customer asked their fellow members, as a person that doesn't really take advantage of the Costco impressive return policy, would this person have received full credit? Many comments in the sections below, their opinions were questionable about returning the 22-year-old TV. This is wild, one poster said. 22 years later, decides to roll in a TV, wrote one person. Another one says you have to be a psychotic human being to do this. Now, some people, fully support canceling their Costco membership if the person who did this actually got a refund on it. It is unclear whether the request or the return was granted, but as of 2007, they have implemented a 90-day limit on return for electronic items, but other purchases, such as the generous $100 100% satisfaction guarantee means that they can return just about anything for a full refund. The Costco members previously gone viral for their over-the-top returns include earlier this year, Jackie Nguyen shocked TikTok by successfully getting a refund on a sofa that she bought 2 years prior. She didn't have a receipt for the $700 purchase, but the store was able to look up the transaction in their system and gave her full refund. The Costco stance on returns is not the only policy shoppers should be aware of. Costco recently cracked down on membership rules at the food court as well, which I say boo. Boo on the membership. I want to go in there and have a hot dog and a Coke for $1.50 and then get to see. It's kind of like a taste test. Hey, look, I can get a hot dog and a soda for $1.50, and look at all the cool stuff that they have in here. Babe, we should get a membership here. We should. If they're hot dogs or $1.50 and a soda, we should do that. So tell us what's the weirdest thing that you've ever, or the most, the most outrageous thing that you've ever returned, whether it be Costco or anything like that. We'd love to hear from you. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio. At the bottom of the page says Be Heard. Click on that and you can be podcast famous. Now, unfortunately, actually, it's that time of year again. Now we're getting in the spring. We made it through the Easter. We made it through the apocalypse, the eclipse. We made it through Easter, and now it's starting to get in springtime. Now, in springtime, what happens? You have fairs. You have lots going on. It's beautiful weather outside. Now, unfortunately, over in, where is this at? Is this the Daily Mail UK? Well, let's go with that. Over in the UK? No, Australia. Sorry. I get the two confused sometimes. There's a ride called the Superstar. And it's a roller coaster, and it starts breaking apart mid-ride, sending debris flying through the air as the funfair adrenaline seekers screamed in terror to run for cover. It was meant to be a thrilling experience at the annual Chesterville Fair, hosted by the University of Chester, during the harrowing ordeal for attendees. On March 27th, the Superstar Fairground ride broke apart, sending debris hurtling through the air and leveling two people hospitalized, and including a student who suffered a concussion and whiplash. Footage of the nightmare incident can be captured by video as a horrified attendee shows a large panel breaking free of the fast-moving ride in Chestershire. The popular Superstar ride, dubbed the thrilling whirlwind at super speed, collided at the University of Chester Exon Park campus, sending debris flying apart through the air. The scene of the chaos impacted sent shattered glass everywhere, flying in multiple directions, with the adrenaline seekers fleeing for their lives. So if you want to see this video, I'm going to switch over to, where am I going? Here we go. I'm going to switch over to this video here. Oops. Oh, this video. I got this. So confused. So if you want to see this video, go over to YouTube and you can see this as well. Make sure you like and subscribe. So here we go. This is the new footage emerges from the fairground ride falling apart. So here we go. Now let me explain what this ride is. It's a platform. If you're watching me on the video, it's a platform arm. And on this arm has a whole bunch of chairs wrapped around in a circle. And the arm goes up, and it's spinning at the same time, and then comes down. The arm comes up, and the chairs are all spinning in a circle at the same time. And you can hear the ride hit something and start falling apart. So here we go. Bam! There goes another piece. That hits the ground. Oh, it turns them upside down too? Jesus Christ! Stop the ride! Stop the ride! Get me off of this! Jane! Get me off this crazy thing! So there you go. Oops. This. Go back here. So that's why I don't go to those those little theme park rides that pop up in like parking lots and stuff. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine that? I mean, we've seen like actual cars with people in them go flying off of the thing. Or was that a movie? I might have dreamt that. Now, this woman right here, she's getting a lot of praise, and hopefully her business is going to get flooded with a whole bunch of orders and stuff. Now, being an individual business owner, it's hard to make it in the world today. It takes everything you got. You got another song there. But especially like if you're a baker, and, you know, you hear stories about people going, you know, make me a cake. Well, we don't make, or make me a cake with gay flags on it. No, that goes against our religion. No, you're a baker. You're going to make whatever I have. This is what you want to do. And then they get into a big fight, and then it's all for the TikToks and for the likes and all that stuff. This woman right here was contacted by an outside source who wanted her to make a cake. Well, that's fine. She said, that's fine. I'll make a cake for you. But what the lady didn't tell her was, I need it by tomorrow, less than 12 hours. And called this woman, Casey Tingley, at 9 o'clock at night. Now, I've got the whole entire story here, so I'm going to switch to camera 4 so we can all see this and we can all be friends. So here's the actual story of what's been taking over TikTok on a video that's been seen over 2 million times. So here we go.
The owner of Love and Flower Bakery found herself facing an unexpected challenge. Cassie Tingley, the owner of Love and Flower Bakery, found herself facing an unexpected challenge. A woman with an outrageous request.
I'm just trying to explain to you, I cannot fix this for you. I can't help you. It's just, I can't do it in that amount of time.
You realize that I am the one with the money, right? And you're not. I am the one that's hiring you.
Ma'am, that was incredibly rude. I don't know who you think. I'm trying very hard to remain professional. I can't understand where you think you're coming from with that. I have other clients that book 2 or 3 months out for me, and there are only a few in there that I...
So what you might have missed on that, she said, you don't understand. I'm the one with the money. I'm hiring you, you peasant. I am rich and you are nothing. Without me, you are nothing, was the attitude that the lady on the phone was getting into.
I'm actually designing myself. I don't even know how you got my number. But this is...
a cake for 120 for tomorrow.
Not only did she need a cake for 120 people, but she requested the cake to be complete with custom decorations and fresh roses, all needed within the next 12 hours.
Now you say, well, is this fake or whatever? No, this is her boyfriend. They're like, you know, reading a book or whatever in bed, and he's recording this. And at the end of the actual video, now I've got the actual original video that's unedited, and I'll let you guys listen to that as well. So let's figure out what the actual story was.
It wasn't long before the woman resorted to hurling insults. In that moment, Cassie realized she had to draw the line.
It's not going to happen with me, but there are other bakers around the city that can help you. Maybe I'm not sure.
I mean, Walmart could pull this off, but they're not.
Did you? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did you say?
Oh, they've edited it out.
Okay, you know what? The only is you, because you've sat here and basically made fun of the fact that everybody else on the planet doesn't.
He stood up. He would not tolerate
you. It's not to make a cake for you. Do you understand to lose this number?
Cassie stood up for herself with her staff in mind, informing the woman she would not tolerate being treated disrespectfully.
I can't believe you would talk to me this way.
Oh, go yourself. That was crazy. She's crazy.
I don't even know what to say.
That's her boyfriend.
I don't even know if we post that.
Post it.
Absolutely.
In the end, Cassie's message to others was clear. Kindness and humility go a long way, and there is never an excuse for treating others with disrespect. She shared her experience on TikTok, where it quickly garnered over 10 million views, sparking a conversation about the importance of respect in customer service and beyond.
So that was the article from the Daily Mail. This is the actual video. And am I still clear here? Yeah, I'm still clear. So this is the actual video that they posted, and you can hear how the woman was just being rude the whole entire time.
It's not going to happen with me, but there are other bakers around the city. I'm not sure.
I mean, bitch, Walmart could pull this off.
She said, bitch, Walmart can pull this off.
Walmart could pull this off. But they're not.
Did you?
I mean, bitch, Walmart could pull this off. but they're not.
Did you? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did you say bitch?
I did.
Okay, you know what? The only bitch is you, because you've sat here and basically made fun of the fact that everybody else on the planet doesn't have any fucking money but you. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but I'm the wrong motherfucker. I'm the wrong motherfucker. And
yeah!
It's 9 o'clock at night. I've got shit to do. Do you understand me? And it's not to make a cake for you. It's not to make a cake for you. Do you understand to lose this number?
I can't believe you would talk to me this way.
Oh, go fuck yourself. That was crazy. She's crazy.
She's in awe.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't even know if we post that.
Absolutely.
Yep. And 10 million views later, she got the attention of a whole bunch of people that said, yes, good for you. Good for you. You know, telling her to fuck off. And, you know, she started it. When you start, you know, throwing swear words at someone, I always go, hey, man, I didn't cuss at you. I don't appreciate you cussing at me. I get cussed at all the time. Jesus Christ, I get cussed at all the time. And I always go, hey, man, you started the cussing. I didn't go there. But if you want to go down this road, let's go. Arm in arm. We're going to go right down that road. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to enjoying what you got to do. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. So we do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. Every podcast we have has a matching video over on YouTube. And you can find all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. We'd love to hear from you as well at the Be Heard section. And get yourself some free swag over there at the same spot. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night. See you later.
Wait. Come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Bye.